Hello, my friends. Welcome to Story Voice English. I'm very happy you're here today. So find a comfortable place to sit, relax, and let today's story begin. Now imagine something impossible. Imagine opening a notebook that is more than 500 years old. Inside, you don't find stories. You find sketches of helicopters, armored tanks, diving suits, flying machines, even robots. But there is one shocking fact. None of these inventions existed when they were drawn. So who imagined the future hundreds of years before anyone else? His name was Leonardo da Vinci. He was not just a painter, he was an inventor, an engineer, a scientist, and one of the greatest minds in human history. This is the incredible story of the man who refused to stop asking one simple question. What if? The story begins on April 15th, 1452. In a small village called Vinci, in Italy, a baby boy was born. His name was Leonardo. No one could have imagined that this quiet child would one day change the worlds of art, science, and engineering forever. Leonardo's parents were never married. His father, Ser Piero, was a respected lawyer. His mother, Caterina, came from a humble background. Although Leonardo did not grow up in a traditional family, he was loved and cared for by relatives. As a young boy, Leonardo was different from other children. While others played games, he spent hours watching birds fly across the sky. He carefully observed insects crawling through the grass. He studied the shapes of leaves. He watched rivers flow over rocks. Nothing in nature escaped his attention. He wasn't simply looking. He was asking questions. Why do birds fly? Why does water move the way it does? Why does light change during sunset? Most children accepted the world as it was. Leonardo wanted to understand why it worked. That curiosity became the greatest gift of his life. Unlike many famous scholars of his time, Leonardo never attended a university. Instead, nature became his classroom. Every tree, every cloud, every animal, every human face taught him something new. He carried small notebooks wherever he went. Whenever an idea appeared in his mind, he wrote it down or sketched it before it disappeared. Sometimes he filled entire pages with drawings of flowers. Other times, he sketched complicated machines that had never existed before. People often laughed at his endless questions, but Leonardo never stopped asking them. As he grew older, his talent for drawing became impossible to ignore. He could capture tiny details that others never even noticed. A feather, a smile, a shadow, a single drop of water. Everything fascinated him. His father soon realized that Leonardo possessed an extraordinary gift. Instead of becoming a lawyer like the rest of the family, Leonardo would follow a different path. At the age of about 14, his father took him to the great city of Florence. It was one of the richest and most beautiful cities in Europe. Artists, architects, scientists, and craftsmen gathered there to create wonders. For Leonardo, it felt like entering another world. His father introduced him to one of Florence's greatest artists, Andrea del Verrocchio. Leonardo became Verrocchio's apprentice. His new life was about to begin. But no one, not even his teacher, could imagine that the quiet boy from Vinci would one day become even greater than the master himself. Leonardo quickly discovered that Verrocchio's workshop was unlike an ordinary school. It was a place where imagination became reality. Young apprentices learned far more than painting. They studied sculpture, architecture, mathematics, metalworking, wood carving, and engineering. Every day brought a new lesson. Leonardo absorbed everything like a sponge. He rarely forgot anything he learned. But what amazed people most was not his memory. It was his attention to detail. While other students hurried to finish their work, Leonardo slowed down. He believed nature never rushed, so neither should an artist. He carefully watched how sunlight touched a face. He noticed how water reflected the sky. He observed how birds balanced themselves in the wind. Every observation became another lesson. One day, Verrocchio asked Leonardo to help him finish a painting. The young apprentice painted one of the angels. When the painting was completed, people immediately noticed something unusual. The angel painted by Leonardo looked softer, more natural, more alive than the rest of the painting. According to an old story, Verrocchio was so amazed by Leonardo's talent that he never wanted to paint another figure again. Whether that story is completely true or not, it shows how extraordinary Leonardo's ability had become. Soon, wealthy families began asking for his work. Leonardo opened his own workshop in Florence, but unlike many artists, he was never satisfied. Even after finishing a painting, he continued improving it. He believed perfection was a journey, not a destination. Sometimes he spent weeks studying a single human smile. Other times, he searched the streets for interesting faces. Old men, children, merchants, soldiers, everyone became a possible inspiration. Leonardo believed every face told a story. Around this time, another passion began to grow inside him. It was not painting, it was science. He wanted to understand how muscles moved, why birds could fly, how water shaped the land, how the human eye saw light. For Leonardo, art and science were never separate. He believed the greatest artist must first understand the world. That belief made him different from every other painter of his time. His notebook slowly filled with thousands of sketches, flying machines, bridges, weapons, musical instruments, mechanical inventions, even ideas for machines that looked impossible. Centuries later, many people would open those notebooks and wonder the same question. How could one man imagine so much, so far ahead of his own time? But Leonardo's greatest masterpieces were still waiting to be created, and one mysterious portrait would one day become the most famous painting on earth. Years passed. Leonardo's reputation spread across Italy. Kings, dukes, and powerful families wanted him to work for them. But Leonardo never called himself only an artist. In one famous letter, he described himself first as an engineer. He wrote about bridges, military machines, canals, and inventions. Only at the very end did he mention that he could also paint. It showed what mattered most to him. He wanted to solve problems, not simply create beautiful pictures. Around 1495, Leonardo began one of the greatest paintings in history, The Last Supper. The painting covered the wall of a dining hall in a monastery in Milan. Instead of showing 12 calm disciples, Leonardo painted the exact moment Jesus told them, "One of you will betray me." Shock filled every face, fear, confusion, disbelief. Every expression was different. No artist had ever painted such human emotion before. People stood silently before the masterpiece. It felt less like a painting and more like a frozen moment in time. Years later, Leonardo started another portrait. A woman sat quietly before him. Her name was Lisa Gherardini. Today, the world knows her by another name, the Mona Lisa. Leonardo refused to rush. He carried the painting with him for years, again and again. He added tiny details, the soft light, the delicate shadows, the mysterious smile. Even today, people still debate what her smile truly means. That mystery helped make the Mona Lisa the most famous painting in the world. But painting was only one part of Leonardo's life. When others were sleeping, he filled notebook after notebook with ideas. He designed flying machines inspired by birds. He imagined armored vehicles long before modern tanks existed. He sketched parachutes, giant bridges, diving equipment, mechanical devices, even robots powered by gears. Many of these inventions could not be built with the technology of his time. Yet, centuries later, engineers discovered that many of his ideas actually worked. Leonardo also wanted to understand the greatest machine ever created, the human body. He carefully studied muscles, bones, the heart, and the human brain. His drawings became some of the most accurate anatomical studies ever made. Doctors still admire them today. To Leonardo, learning never ended. Every question led to another question. Every answer opened another door. In his later years, Leonardo accepted an invitation from King Francis I of France. He spent his final years in France surrounded by respect and admiration. The king often visited him, not only to see his paintings, but to listen to his ideas. On May 2nd, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci passed away at the age of 67. He left behind no great fortune, but he left something far more valuable: thousands of pages filled with imagination, centuries later. His paintings still inspire millions. His notebooks still amaze scientists. His inventions still influence engineers. And his curiosity still teaches us one simple lesson. Never stop asking questions. Never stop learning. Never believe that imagination has limits. Leonardo once wrote, "Learning never exhausts the mind." More than 500 years later, those words still inspire the world. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the incredible story of Leonardo da Vinci. If you enjoyed learning English through this true story, don't forget to subscribe to Story Voice English for more inspiring journeys through history. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep learning, and never stop asking, what if?